When you look at clubs generating the most revenue, it's all the same names, isn't it? Real Madrid, Barcelona, Manchester United and Bayern Munich. However, Bayern, when compared to those other three, seems somewhat reluctant to splash the cash. You go back to 2017, their record signing, it's in euros, 41.5 million to Liso. However, things will change. This is what Uli Hoeneß had to say. We're in the process of rejuvenating the team. This will be the biggest ever investment plan Bayern have ever had. And it certainly seems to be confirmed, of course. Pavard going to Bayern in the summer, and reports today that Lucas Hernandez will be joining him. Raf, what do you make of this?
Well, this has been on the cards for quite a while. Even last summer they said, look, the reason why we have a positive net spend this year is because we're saving the money for the big transition that has to happen next year. So this was always going to happen. The question was, how serious were Bayern going to be when it comes to really putting the money on the table? Because in the past, it's not that they haven't spent money, but they like to spend it on wages, in getting the likes of Lewandowski, Goretzka, Gnabry for a few million, and putting that money into the wages and getting players for free if they can. But I think the need is great enough, and realization of where the transfer fees are going is clear enough in Munich to understand that if you want to bring 4 or 5 players that will really improve this team, you're looking at the best part of 200 million euros. And that's how much Bayern will spend by the time the transfer window closes in August.
But you look, Pavard, Hernandez, great acquisitions, but they need more as well, don't they, Raf?
They need a bit more. I don't think they need a lot more, but they'd still like the likes of Hudson-Odoi, of course, you know, a fourth winger. They have 3 who look very good, but they'd like to have a 4th one for sure. There's still talk of a second striker coming. Is he going to be like a shadow striker type behind Lewandowski? Maybe Timo Werner, maybe Luka Jovic. Kai Havertz is still in the mix, although it's much more likely that he'll come next summer. But Bayern are not done yet. And if anything, Dortmund's good run, and even if Dortmund were to win the league this year, just increases Bayern's commitment to once again show to everyone, especially in Germany, we are still top dog. We still have the most money. We can still get any player we want. I mean, that's what they like to tell themselves. And this is our statement. And it has to be seen almost in a political context, Bayern reaffirming their position, at least on a financial level.
Of course, their big rivals this season is Dortmund in the Bundesliga. Jadon Sancho already been linked to a number of clubs in England after a standout season. He says, I have no knowledge of it, but it's also completely irrelevant. I'm far from putting a price tag on Jadon, but I will say that even for the biggest club in the world, his transfer would be difficult right now. He continues, Jadon will play at Dortmund next season, and we are definitely planning with. He certainly will not play until his retirement in Dortmund. That, too, is true. So he's obviously had a great season, Raf, and we've heard people in the past come out and make comments like this, and then things change in the summer. How much do you think this is set in stone?
Nothing is set in stone in football. I mean, they didn't plan on selling Dembele after only 1 year at Dortmund, but Barcelona put, 130 million euros on the table. And at that point, Dortmund felt, you know what, that's a good deal, goodbye. I think where's different here is that Sancho only renewed his contract, 3 months ago, 4 months ago? And I think there would have been already an understanding, look, we know you want to leave eventually, but we also know we want to keep you at least for 1 more year. Don't make any trouble. Here's the deal, etc. So I think he understands, and I'm talking about Sancho there, where Dortmund are and vice versa. And when Zorc is saying, look, he is definitely going to be here next year, what he's really also saying is he's definitely, or almost definitely, not going to be here the year after. So I think everything else is market making and is setting certain anchoring figures to make sure that people are scared off this year and be ready to spend really big when Dortmund are willing to sell in 2020.
It really is quite a title race, isn't it, between Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich. Both teams at a level on points as we enter the final stretch of the season. Interesting though, Raph, what's the vibe in Germany regarding this title race? Has the wind been taken out the sails slightly, considering both teams exited the Champions League so disappointingly?
No, it hasn't really changed anything. I mean, this is the most exciting title race in 10 years, I think. This is a team that finds itself in Dortmund. It's challenging Bayern. Where at the beginning of the season they thought they probably weren't quite ready yet, or maybe Bayern weren't weak enough to really open the door. So now this is hugely exciting for everyone. The fact that both teams have this to play for as the main prize makes it even more exciting domestically. And while the narrative has been of Dortmund kind of losing momentum and running out of steam a little bit because they were 9 points ahead just before Christmas, I think you still have to look at this in isolation, and it still constitutes their best chance since 2012. And if they can win at Bayern, and why shouldn't they? Because they won at home, then it's really up for grabs. So this is going to be a really, really close call either way.
You got Bayern though, boys?
They've been stronger of late. Dortmund technically got a very talented team, but I think Bayern's experience is just going to get them over the line this year. Just to go back to that Sancho point just briefly, I think it would be crazy for him to think about even leaving if he's sensible, because Borussia Dortmund have been great for him. He's been great for them, but they've been great for him. They're giving him a platform. He's getting better all the time. You know, when Dortmund see what Pulisic went for, who was coming towards the end of his contract, that price, then that's going to mean if he stays there, he's lengthened his contract, and they can get an absolutely whopping fee for him. So, in terms of him leaving Dortmund, I think it would be crazy to even think about it for at least a year, maybe two. But in terms of Dortmund for the title race, I just seen some signs recently defensively where they've just been weak in some of those games. They've lost quite a lot of goals. And I just think Bayern, for me now, are going to be the stronger in the run-in.
The fact that they both were knocked out of the Champions League, does that dilute your interest in it at all, this title race?
Me personally? It does a little. I always thought Bayern were just been over the distance before, and right now they're so much more consistent than Borussia Dortmund, and that's what's going to see them through. And it won't be a huge surprise, so I can't see them falling off the edge of my chair trying to watch the game.
Why would the two German teams going out of the Champions League affect the interest in...
Not in Germany.
But from us, why is it not an interesting title race when it's so... OK, Bayern have pinched back the lead that Dortmund had, but because they're not in the Champions League doesn't mean that this is not going to be a great title run-in from outside Germany.
But because of the failures in the Champions League, it makes you question how good these teams are.
Well,
and so if you've got two... let's just, for example, if you've got two bad teams going for the title, why would other people other than the fans of that country or those teams be interested? That's kind of where it is for me.
So if anybody's not gone for the Champions League, we can't watch the title run-in.
You can watch anything you like, Craig.
It's very elitist, isn't he?
I'm just saying.
I mean...
Two average teams going for a title.
I tell you what, they're not average.
It's hardly mind-blowing, is it?
Listen, Bayern Munich are not at the best, and they had a bad night when they went out against Liverpool. There's no doubt about that. Borussia Dortmund are a fantastic young side, right? They're not
that fantastic.
Well, no, they got it. They're a fantastic young side. They had a very bad night at Wembley. I thought Lucien Favre got his tactics wrong, he got his team personnel wrong, and they got whopped. Right? These things can happen. I don't think that means these two are all of a sudden terrible.
It's a massive game when these two meet, of course.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. No,
it's not. We just slaughtered Bayern. That was a massive game.
Stevie playing games over on Extra Time. You can check it out, of course, available every day on our YouTube channel.